date and time scheduled for a sentencing in this case. Have the people had an opportunity to review the pre-sentence report and the attached guidelines?
We have, Your Honor.
Any additions or corrections?
No additions or corrections.
All right, Mr. LaPrey, same questions?
I reviewed it, we have no additions or corrections.
All right, Mr. Longmire, you had an opportunity to review your pre-sentence report and the attached guidelines.
Yes.
Any additions or corrections that you have?
No.
All right, Mr. Hooper, do you have a victim representative or some?
Judge, as the court recalls, we did have victims do an on-the-record COBS prior to, during the case with all three defendants present, and they did have an opportunity to speak to the court at that time. I did inquire as to whether they wanted to address the court today again, and they indicated they've already relayed their sentiments to the court, so there's nothing further from the victims team.
Okay, all right. Anything you want to say?
Just briefly, Judge, obviously the court's aware of the facts and circumstances that are outlined in the pre-sentence investigation. Furthermore, this negotiation was made in light of the fact that during the commission of this homicide, Mr. Longmire is the defendant who was driving the vehicle at the time. That certainly doesn't negate his role. The vehicle circles the block on more than one occasion before ultimately firing shots, as the investigation shows. And so he certainly has culpability for this crime. Due to his role in this crime, the people had offered that he plead guilty to manslaughter with full cooperation, and that is the extent of the negotiations. His guidelines do contemplate the severity of the offense and take into consideration both his prior record, which scores at 82 prior record variables, and 140 offense variables, both which exceed the maximum that would be allowable under a secret offense for manslaughter, in that the grid only goes to 75 offense variables, and only or prior record variables, and only 140. So I think, given that, the court is free in those sense.
Mr. Honor, I would agree with the statements made by Mr. Hooper. I would agree with the guideline ranges in this matter. When it comes to my client's participation in this event, he drove the vehicle. It was where the gunfire came from in this case. He never possessed a weapon. He never discharged a weapon. However, he did participate in this horrible tragedy. He understands that there's got to be a penalty for that. I know that he's remorseful. I know that he wishes he could take back a lot of poor decisions that he made on that day, but he knows that he can't. And the best thing that he can do for himself now is to accept the punishment that the court is going to give him and make a better person out of himself. He has engaged in some services while he's been in the Seton County Jail. I know engaging in those services while he's in prison so that he can come out released as a better person than the young man that's done both.
Mr. Longmire, anything you wish to tell the court prior to imposing sentence?
Yes.
What?
I was going to say, I apologize for what happened. I didn't mean for any of this to happen. I was hoping y'all heart y'all could forgive me for what happened. That's all.
Mr. Longmire, I was stunned by how many juvenile offenses you had. 14 juvenile and your first adult conviction is murder. At 18 years of age, and it's the person you killed was just simply doing a job, working out the door. You know, a guy who had spent his whole life working. I was appreciative. His wife came in during the cops and really told me her perspective of her husband, who he was as a person. Quite frankly, I was a little shocked that she wasn't more angry. I think I would. And I think that shows a lot about who she is, about who he was. You took an innocent man's life. You drive the car, you know what's going to happen. And really, when you say, well, he's just a driver. Well, in our criminal law system of justice, the driver is just as culpable as everybody else. In fact, And I was thinking about this yesterday, the driver is really the only one in position to stop the whole individual, just hitting the brakes, make it a left, going home. And the only reason I think that, well, you didn't do it is because either one, you intended the ultimate result of what happened, or you're just too chicken to disappoint your friends and just stop and go home. And that's absolutely just horrible thing to do. Just say, well, I'll just, whatever happens, happens. And an individual is dead because of this. Somebody who had nothing to do with your guys' fight with Mr. Billings. An innocent man is dead. And it's because of you. And your history shows that you really haven't cared too much about what happens to innocent victims along the way. And ultimately now we're ending up with the loss of a life which can never be made whole. I wish this court could somehow make the victim whole. In this case, I can't. But certainly justice needs to be served. I understand you're young and you're a youthful offender, but there is an element of justice when you take a person's life or you're involved with it. And I hope you take this time in prison to better yourself. You really have one of two options at this point. You can either get involved with people inside the DOC, and you can come out and be a worse person and get involved and get yourself involved in more crime, or you can learn from this, try to better yourself the time that you have, come out and hopefully mentor a young man like yourself not to go down the same path you are. That's your choice. But I tell you what, if you really truly are remorseful, you absolutely owe it to this man who's dead and this family right here to do something good with your life. Because you have the opportunity to get out of prison, live your life. You'll be out, maybe in your very worst, mid-30s. You got another 40, 50 years left in your life to live your life, have kids, buy houses. This man can't spend another day with his family. Can't spend another day, we can't do anything. So you need to hopefully make it your goal in life to do something better with your life, help other people, hopefully stop somebody else at your age now from getting into the same situation. I hope you do that. It's a sentence of the court. In count one, you serve 10 years and 15 years, which is Department of Corrections. Credit for 272 days you've already served. There's a $68 state cost, $100 contract license, $250 court cost, and a $450 public defender fee. You do have a right to file an application for leave to appeal your conviction and sentence if you're financially able to retain an attorney when we appointed you a public expense. Request for the assistance lawyer must be made within 42 days from today's date. Mr. Weaver, my bailiff, has already handed you a form that you must complete the amateur report in that 42 days if you wish to request the appointment of an attorney on appeal. Anything else for the record?
Nothing, thank you, Judge.
No, thank you.
All right, we're adjourned.
I don't believe my client is right, John.
Those are the only two that are here.
Edward Ramirez.
They're on Zoom for some
Yeah. Ramirez is not the town, that's why. Oh, and this is,
Your Honor, I can speak on behalf of Haynes.
yeah, go ahead, Agent Haggerty.
She's still in treatment, and I asked Barb if we could put her, if she could be sentenced via Zoom, because I'm not requesting any jail.
Okay. We want to keep her in the base first. All right, Mr. Ramirez, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right, before the court is filed 2019-3013 FH versus Edwin Ramirez. Are you Edwin Ramirez, sir?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ramirez appears via Zoom in court. His attorney, remind me of his name.
Schisler, Your Honor.
Mr. Schisler is here present in person in the court. Date and time scheduled for probation violation sentencing. Mr. Roberts, you may on this one?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Roberts is here on behalf of the people of the state of Michigan. Any additions or corrections to the report, Mr. Roberts?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Schisler?
None, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Ramirez, any additions or corrections that you have in the pre-sentence report?
Not at the moment, but
Okay, all right. Any allocution?
We will, I'll ask you to follow the agent's recommendation.
Okay. Mr. Schisler?
Seeing, Your Honor, it appears that my client did abscond for quite a long period of time, but he had about as noble of a reason as doing so as exists. My understanding is he's been out of trouble since then and did bring himself back before the court to get this matter resolved, so I'd humbly request to file the recommendation, particularly in regard to the 7411.
All right. Mr. Ramirez, anything you wish to say on your behalf prior to sentencing?
no, sir.
The only issue I had with 7411 is this Texas conviction for marijuana possession. Doesn't that make him ineligible for 7411? I think it's a conviction.
What? That would have happened after, though. Right?
No, this happened before. So this offense, the offense date is, hold on, let me just double check.
This offense date is like 2021.
No, I know that. So he got a possession of marijuana. Well, that one was deferred in Texas. I think the statute says, having not received a referral under this section. We're still okay. Okay, all right, good. All right, so obviously the court doesn't condone Mr. Ramirez's actions on probation, but essentially he's done what every judge wants after they sentence somebody, and that is to stay out of trouble and get a job and make something of their life. And Mr. Ramirez has done that. He's appeared in court. He's didn't have to. He could have been on the run for probably the rest of his life. I don't think there was nationwide extradition on this, and he wanted to take care of this so he could move forward with his life. So I think the court needs to take into consideration his willingness to essentially own up to his past. So the court is going to follow the recommendation. I am going to discharge the defendant without improvement. I am going to allow him to keep a 7411 and keep a 7411 discharge. I think it's not exactly the route that we want to go, but I think based on a very long period of certainly no drug possessions and no involvement in the criminal justice system, certainly has warranted that. So the court will it's like, let's see, there's some balance in fines and costs remaining. So Mr. Ramirez, we got to set up a criminal payment for that. But beyond that, there's no additional fees. So you may want to contact the court or collections department to set up that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
You do have a right to file an application for you to appeal your conviction and sentence and financial aid to retain an attorney when you appointed to the public defense. Custody assistance will must be made within 42 days. All right. Anything? Did I miss anything, Agent Charles?
No, that's okay.
All right. Good luck, Mr. Ramirez. I wish you success the rest of your life. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right.
Have a good one.
Yeah. Mr. Ayers, are you ready to go?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I made mention of Haynes. What's her status?
She is in treatment right now, so we'll do her right after we do 25-3423 FC is People versus Jamal Hansen. Jamal Hansen, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hansen appears before the court with his attorney, Mr. Charles Ayers. Mr. Lupicar is here on behalf of the state of Michigan. This is a date and time scheduled for the sentencing in this case. Any additions or corrections to the pre-sentence report, Mr. Lupicar?
Judge, it's my understanding that there's a correction to offense variable 3. Offense variable 3 is currently scored at 50 points. It should be scored at 25 points. The total offense variable is 126. That does not change the grade of the guidelines.
That's correct, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, that's 106, not 100.
Yes.
Still only level 3.
Correct.
Which variable is 3, correct?
Offense variable 3.
25, correct? Any other additions or corrections, Mr.
No other additions or corrections, Judge.
All right, Mr. Ayers, any additions or corrections you have?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Hansen, you had an opportunity to review the pre-sentence report in detail, correct?
Yes, sir.
Any additions or corrections you have?
No.
Judge, as I indicated previously in Mr. Longmire's file, the victims had previously spoken with the court and relayed their sentiments regarding this case. There's no other defendant who wishes to speak.
Anything you wish to say?
Just so that this record is complete, obviously, the court is aware of the facts and circumstances. We believe that the guidelines are appropriately calculated. We ask for a sentence. What was the cause for the court, which is 8 years.
Mr. Ayers.
Thank you, Your Honor. The court is well aware of what happened here from the hearing that we had when the victims' family spoke. I would also refer the court to the sentencing memorandum that was filed on behalf of Mr. Hansen, and that kind of gives the court some background of what kind of young man he is and what led to this situation here. And as a teacher spoke from Muskegon Heights in this building a few weeks ago, it kind of struck me that Mr. Hansen, like a lot of these kids in the Heights, they were raised in kind of an active war zone, and that's where he came up in. And he didn't choose to get involved with that life originally. He was kind of pushed into it, but once he was there was all kinds of people to mentor him as a young man, like 15 and 16 years old. Before that, he was a quiet kid in sports. He wasn't a disciplinary issue, and comes from a good family. And now, unfortunately, what happened here, a life was lost. Mr. Hansen, we can't take that back. It can't be undone. I think the one thing, in addition to what was filed in the sentencing memorandum, is the idea of intent here. I know for one thing that Mr. Hansen had no intent that anybody was killed that day. He definitely had no intent to cause any harm to Mr. Ritter, and he's deeply sorry for that. The memo also reflects some of what he's done since this has happened, and he's taken full responsibility for his poor choices and what happened. And thankfully, he has a lot of family support here, he's a young man that's capable of change. He definitely went down the wrong road here. We would just ask that the court fashion a sentence that takes all those things into consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Hansen. Anything you wish to say? Prior to sentencing?
What you said again?
Anything you want to say prior to sentencing?
Yes. I'm sorry for my actions. I'm sorry to the victim family, and I'm sorry to my family for all the pain I caused. I hope everybody can forgive me one day too.
Well, Mr. Hansen, you're a perfect example of somebody who pick up a gun, start shooting at somebody or a resident of the place. You are responsible for your actions. I don't care if you intended to hit your target or not. You start shooting a gun, you start possessing a gun, problems, they're gonna follow you. It's just the way it is. We got a lot of young men and women in this community, mostly men, but some women that think it's okay to walk around with a firearm all the time, even though if they need it or not. The problem with firearms is when you have them, unfortunately, you make stupid decisions with them. And the person who you killed had nothing to do with anything, your beef with anybody else, with Mr. Billings or anybody else. This is a completely senseless act of violence. A person who was just working on a house, working on a door, was minding their own business, trying to do what they do in life, make something and be successful in life, and do something positive in life. And you guys decided to go by because you wanted to kill somebody who posted something negative on Facebook. This whole thing started kicking over grief. You know, you guys are beefing over ridiculous things. And you're killing each other and you're killing innocent people in the process because of stuff posted on Facebook. You know? And I hope you're a lesson. Anyone who's sitting in this gale, if you want to pick up a gun, you possess a gun, and you want to use it like this because you're ticked off at somebody else, you're coming from this court, you're going to get hammered. Because I am done with it. I am tired of this in this community. It is not an excuse anymore to say, well, you know, I was just a driver. Oh, hey, I was just, you know, I was not really shooting at him. Don't pick up a weapon. You're upset with somebody. Do what the rest of us do. Do nothing. We let it out. We go work out at the gym. We go rant to somebody else we love. You don't pick up a gun. You don't shoot people. You don't shoot at people, especially in a residential neighborhood where somebody can get killed. That's not how this works. You're a young man. It's very unfortunate that you're going to be in the Department of Corrections for the foreseeable future. The one thing that you have that this family does not, that Mr. Ritter does not, is a life. You're going to have a life after this. You're going to have, you know, probably a good 40, 50 years left. You can do whatever you want with it. You can have a family, you can buy a house, you can get an education, you can do all those things. Impossible. Will never happen. You took somebody's life. That's it. That's all. They can't spend time with their family. All they have is memories. Memories that ended by a tragedy. You affected a large number of people. The ripple is felt. For the rest of these people's lives, the ripple is felt. They have to live with the game. So, I sincerely hope, and I told Mr. Longmire the same, I sincerely hope you use this time to better yourself. Hopefully when you get out, you go find someone that's your age right now and you tell them that this is not the life they should live because look what happened to you. Or you can go the other way. You can pick up some more, you know, talents for crime and inside prison you can join your groups, you can do what you want to do, and you'll come out and I guarantee you, I'll see you again. And I will see you again or me or some other judge. It's up to you. So, but the one thing you absolutely should do is for the rest of your life, try to do some good, make up. You'll never be able to make up for it. But some good, some positive should come out of this. And I hope you're a part of it. But it's up to you. So I'll leave it to you. Hopefully you'll contemplate what you're going to do in the next several years. Sentence of court you serve 18 years and 60 years, Michigan Department of Corrections. There's 277 days of credit. There's a $450 court cost, $450 public defender fee, $130 crime victim rights assessment, $68 state costs. You do have a right to file an application for leave to appeal your conviction and sentence if you're financially able to retain an attorney and pay according to your public expense. Plus, the assistance lawyer must be made within the next 42 days. Mr. Weaver, my bailiff, has already handed you a form that you must complete and return to the court in that 42 days if you wish to request the appointment of an attorney and appeal. We're adjourned. Thank you.
Love you too. I love y'all too.
Okay. Is let's do Miss Haynes.
guys know that Haynes is gonna be tomorrow? I don't know if you're from.
At what time? At what time?
I'm trying to get Allison to give me a time. I'll let you guys know if I hear a time, but she didn't tell me yet, so. I don't know why they're not doing it today.
All right, Ms. Haynes, can you hear me okay?
Matt.
Yeah.
All right, can you find a quiet spot to sit down for me?
Is it warm now? Was it? Is it warm now? It's gotta dry out.
All right, this is 253281 FH, 26344, and 26398 FH, all titled the State of Michigan versus Christina Haynes. Are you Christina Haynes?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Haynes appears before the court. Her attorney, Mr. Schisler, is here on her behalf. Mr. Roberts is here on behalf of the State of Michigan. The date and time scheduled for a probation violation hearing in the 25 file and sentencing in the 226 files. Ms. Schisler, I'm assuming you filed in favor of the probation violation.
I would presume so, Your Honor. I will admit I've had no contact with her.
Ms. Haynes, we got some cleanup duty to do here on the probation violation. I'm assuming that files, any additions or corrections?
None, Your Honor.
All right, any additions or corrections you have, Ms. Haynes?